Chosen vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. Let's get right into it. They acted like they didn't know what you were talking about, but are the main ones causing all the pain and destruction. Let's get right into it. There were plenty of times where you tried to plead your case as far as what you were going through with organized terrorism. Let's call it what it is. All right. You tried to plead your case. You possibly tried to speak to some higher ups. You possibly tried to talk to some people in higher positions at your job, higher positions in your town. All right. You possibly even tried to talk to some people you knew that you were close to, all to find out that they were the ones a part of this whole scheme. They had a part that they were playing in the things that you were going through. It was very difficult to try to explain how random strangers would have something against you and would be trying to disrupt your day or disrupt you or get to you in some kind of way. But the truth about it is that's what happened, and that's what does happen. You will just be trying to live your life and do things like a normal individual, a normal person. But they seek you out because of your divinity. You are divine, and you have certain things about you that make you stand out, and you're not so heavily deep or stuck into the matrix reality as they are and as they would like. So the people who were actually telling you that they had no idea of what you were talking about, they didn't see these things happening. They couldn't just picture or imagine what you were going through, were actually the ones that were either being an enabler in what was going on, or they were on the front lines and aiding in inflicting the damage to you. It's not easy when you have people doing things around you to affect you that makes you question what you're going through and what is going on. You're trying to seek answers. You're trying to get help. You're trying to find a way out of this, a way just to stop it so you could have a normal life. But they pretend to act like they don't even know what it is that you're experiencing. And it seems to you that you end up having no one to turn to, no one to go to. You end up turning to God. You end up praying a lot. You end up getting closer to the Most High. You end up getting closer to the Creator. Or you end up getting closer to your higher self. And you end up becoming more of a spiritual person because of having to acquire new levels of peace constantly due to the broad range of attacks that you go through on the day-to-day basis. It's like, when will it stop? When will you get some rest? When will you be able to find some peace? When will you get some autonomy back in your life? And these are the things that they want you to not be able to experience. They don't ever want you to have a moment of peace, and they don't ever want you to have a moment of safety. It's always something when you step outside the house and these people are around. And unfortunately, sometimes through them watching and studying and figuring things out. This is why you have to switch up your routes and your routine. You didn't think anything of it, and you didn't possibly know that that could be a aiding factor. So it is good to switch things up. It is good to switch up your routines, but it's difficult when your parameters are pretty close to theirs, and it feels like every turn you make and every step you take, these individuals are breathing down your neck and trying to disrupt your reality in some kind of way. Waiting to do things when you go to do things, starting things when they see you go to start things, showing up at the same places as you, whether before you get there or slightly after. And it becomes something that you have to learn to deal with, despite what you're already going through and what's already happening to you in life, because you have a life and you just choose to live it the way you choose to live it. But because you won't bow down and serve them and worship their deities and their gods and be evil along with them, and hail the serpent and activate the serpent in you, you rather activate the God in you. And because of that, you're going to have to deal with certain things when it comes to these individuals. Everyone that is involved in this, they have the serpent part of their mind activated, and that's the frequency that they're on. All right, they're dealing with the demonic energy, and we already know what comes with that as far as this type of situation. They have to try to get reactions out of you. They have to try to bother you in some kind of way. They have to try to steal your joy, your peace, your happiness, and just make you feel uncomfortable all throughout your day, your week, your month, your year. They want to try to cause some type of big catastrophe, and they want to make something happen to where you end up getting into an irreversible situation and being on the front lines in your life, to where nobody else will admit to you they see what's happening. Nobody else will try to provide any suggestions, and people just totally gaslight you and act like these things aren't happening. And then little do you know, you find out that they had some type of hand in it. They played some type of part in it, and you start to wake up and realize that they were involved in it the whole time. And the reason why they acted like they didn't know is because they were playing games with you and feeding off of you and straight up lying to your face about it. And they're possibly in some kind of cult. All right, they're possibly in some type of wicked, evil establishment, some type of devilish, satanic organization, to where they attack righteous people. All right, people who have moral standards and that do their best to put God first in their life. Those are the people that they hate. Those are the individuals that they can't stand. Those are the ones that they have a serious problem with. And they will constantly do things to try to get to that individual to make them crack. And the fact that you've been able to stay strong under all the pressures that you are dealing with, it's going to end up leading you to becoming the greatest version of yourself. You're going to end up reaching a level of Christ consciousness, and which will put you in a peaceful state, a self-mastered state, whether they realize it or not, or whether they want to accept it or not. When you don't crack underneath this type of pressure, you're reaching a state and a level of self-mastery not known to many. And by you putting God first in your life, that's just what you are going to achieve. All right, you are going to end up learning and figuring out how to defeat these type of entities and these wicked spirits and even these wicked organizations as a whole. It doesn't matter what type of job you lost. It doesn't matter what they've done to you. All that matters is the fact that even if you put out some type of negative energy or made you upset, the fact that you're still here and you're a work in progress, and you're working on yourself, you're working on your mind, you're working on your spirit, your body, to not be affected and to not react to these types of situations, because that's what these entities feed off of and get power off of in this reality, because they're of another reality. And when they're able to feed off you, then they're able to possibly even inhabit you and take over you. But that's what they're unable to do. They're not going to be able to take over you, and they're not going to be able to inhabit you. And that's what's got them so upset and so frustrated. And that's why it seems like there's so many attacks on you, because they're trying to knock your soul out of your body, and they're trying to take over your flesh, and they're trying to take over you as a person and control you and have the amount of control that they have over all the others. Because if they can control you and get you to do the negative behavior and all the things that all the people are doing to you, that will cause a severe imbalance in the way things are going. And God's just not going to let that happen. All right. And your angels aren't going to let that happen. Everything protecting you, all right, is not going to let that happen. No weapon formed against you is going to prosper. Even if it is one of Satan's evil, wicked devices, it's still not going to have any power over you or any effect over your life. So what you have to do is you have to continue to work on yourself and work on your energy and stay in a peaceful, blissful state, to where you're able to conquer yourself and not be conquered by these individuals. Because having people do things to you and inflicting damage and pain to you and acting like it's not actually happening is a mind wrecking thing. It's a total mind bomb. All right. It's very upsetting and frustrating. It lets you down when you find out that people that are close are a part of this, and they're acting like they're not. They're smiling in your face, inviting you over for this, inviting you over for that. You end up having to turn to nobody but God. Like, that's the only person you end up having in your life. They want to turn your life into a wreck. All right. They don't want you to have any friends. They don't want you to be able to have any family. The family that you do have is on your side. They want them to think that you're crazy or something wrong with you, because you keep having problems with random strangers and people that you don't even know. All right. It's deeper than what a lot of people realize or understand, because it's something in you that they're trying to diminish and that they're trying to kill, because it would make this world a better place for them to inhabit. All right. Since they're not of this world, and they're trying to control it and turn it into what they want, and they're not able to get in you, and they're not able to control you the way they want. So that's where all the attacks and things are coming from. All right. They want you to not be able to move throughout your life the way a person normally should. And they want to be able to get to you and try to cause you to have so much stress, to where you end up causing self damage or inflicting damage on yourself or others. There have been a lot of people who have done massive of massive drillings, if you get what I'm saying, because of they have been going through these kinds of things, and they have ended up taking out um, their experience on other individuals. And that's just not what we're going to do. And that's why I always talk about working on yourself and coming to a point of groundedness, to where you have control over you. And even though those around you are trying to control you, they're unable to do it because of the power that you're amassing. And you have to keep going inward, working on yourself and leveling up, and keep amassing this power, because that's what's going to give you your strength while dealing with these types of individuals who are displaying this type of behavior towards you, to try to break you down and cause you to lose your mind. And not only that, lose finances, lose jobs, lose things in life. They want you to be in a constant state of always trying to make things work, or always trying to get back what was lost, or always trying to start something or do something. That's why you have to go into something for yourself that you can do yourself, that you have control over yourself. All right. Or you have to try to find some type of job or some type of organization where these things aren't happening to you. All right. trying to talk to people about it is a really rough experience. Or you may have tried to call certain people. You may have tried to get help from certain higher ups, certain protective services, all right, certain authorities. And the thing is, it's like you can't go to get help from the same people who are running those organizations. And before you probably have went down the rabbit hole, you thought it was just a stalker, you thought it was just a person, you thought it was just someone trying to ruin your day or bother you in some kind of way, which is true. They definitely want to do that because the energy that they get from that, it feeds them and it makes them stronger in this reality. All right, they don't have any power in this reality except for being able to frustrate others and destroy them from the inside out. That's it. All right. They have to use other people. They have to get in other people, like the spirits. They have to take possession over others in order for them to gain some type of power in this reality. And that's why they're always trying to affect you in some kind of way through other people. And that's why it feels like it's not the other people, and it feels like it's something. It feels like it's a force that you're up against, and it is a force that you're up against. So it's a lot of these evil forces in certain organizations, in certain groups, in certain authoritative administrations. And that's the best way I could put it. To not really mention certain folks, but it is what it is. Like, you can't go to certain people who are there supposedly to help people, because they will act like they don't even know what you're talking about. And the people who act like you don't even know what you're talking about when it comes to these kinds of behaviors and these kinds of strategies that they implement is because they're a part of it. They're just the people on the street are the lowest level. People inducing and conducting street theater are the lowest level of it. And then when you have certain organizations, that's like the middle. And then when you have, or like the lower middle, I would say. And then when you have other areas and other groups and organizations, it just keeps going up until you reach, certain 33-degree levels and things of that nature. But it is what it is. This is what they do. Um, you're not going to be able to talk to people who are inflicting the damage. And when you try to go talk to someone, they don't even want to hear you out. They immediately write you off as crazy. Then that's someone who is potentially involved or deeply, greatly involved. And that's it's a trick by society to have people written off as something is wrong with them, because that's their main strategy against people, because they don't want the truth to get out. And that's another reason why they will come after you, is because you probably are a person that realizes that these things do happen. You're able to see, you're a seer, you're able to see through the people. Certain people aren't real, art. Certain people are fake. I'm just gonna put it that way. Art. Certain people aren't real, they're fake. They will try to destroy you in certain ways. They'll try to come after you in certain ways. They'll try to make your life a shell of an existence in certain ways, all because you carry the light, all because you know the truth, and you're probably willing to tell the truth, or you have a spirit that they can tell with their machines or with their radars or with their waves or frequency monitoring, that they could see a certain spirit in you that is different than the average person who's under the control, under the mind control. All right. And that's why a lot of people will do this stalking too. And it's like, why? It's like, it's state to state, it's town to town, city to city, state to state, even country to country. All right, why do you think God is allowing us to have phones and internet and all these things at this particular time? It's even things that people experience in one country, and the same kind of thing will happen to another person in another country. That's how you know it's like this is how you know people aren't experiencing things that they're not seeing, or things that aren't real. All right, someone can have a health condition in one area and then a health condition in another area due to what they're eating, or due to what they're putting in their body, or due to the health choices that they're making. But for somebody to have a situation to where it's like, I'm experiencing this when I go out in public, and another person in a whole nother state or a whole nother town, not even on the level of a whole nother country yet, to be like, hey, I'm experiencing the same thing. It's no coincidences in this universe, and it's just the fact that it's too real for TV. And there is good versus evil. I mean, in bottom line, baseline, if you can't really understand what I'm talking about, and you don't understand where I'm going with this, there's good versus evil. So you have the forces of good, and just because you may not be anywhere, just because you feel, I know you're somebody, all right, but just because you're not like a superhero, you're not like you're not like in a movie like I'm here to save the world. Just because you're not like that doesn't mean they're not aware of you and what you stand for and who you represent and who you put first in your life. All right, it doesn't mean that. They can tell by how you govern yourself, your spirit. They can tell by how you operate through life. All right, they can tell who's who by how they operate in society. All right, and that's why they have people stalking people in the first place, because the people who aren't obviously out here stalking or harassing or going out in public to purposely bother folks and affect people, those are the ones who aren't a part of that. All right, and if you don't have that type of energy or that type of spirit, you're not gonna find yourself in that cult anyway. And what's really deep about it is just like you're a good person, and imagine when they were in the Bible, right? And there was certain things that they would do to let each other know that they were followers of Christ. It's certain things that evil people know, to where like, yo, you're evil, that person's evil. They could evil can recognize evil, kind of thing. They can see the demonic energy within each other, and that they know who's who. All right, and when they look at you, they probably don't see any demonic energy in each other. And a lot of these people, they have certain powers too. All right, I mean, it is what it is. Like, we have our powers and things like that, but they have certain abilities as well. All right, and some of them are psychic, and some of them are able to do witchcraft and black magic and things of that nature, obviously. But it's like an enhanced version of it. All right, it's like an enhanced version of it. All right, some of these people can transfer thoughts into it, like they could communicate telepathically, like ones that are on a higher level. It's only certain parts of your mind that you have to open, and people on a higher level with higher certain knowledge and information, they're aware of these things, and they can do these things. And even some of the people on the lower level can do these things, but still, it's nothing for you to be afraid of. Even though they could say things around you that they shouldn't know, or even though it seems like they're all up in your business and you don't know this person, and they make you question yourself, like, how's this person even know that? You're not supposed to be afraid of that. Or even when they come around you and try to speak death and negativity, you probably have been out places just enjoying yourself, and then somebody randomly starts talking about someone killing someone or someone dying, and it's like, this is how you know who it is, because it's like, it's different if something just happened on the news and everybody's talking about it, but we're talking about people who just immediately, like, purposefully want you to hear someone's yeah, but something and something, but yeah, he got killed. And it's like they want to put that in your spirit. It's like they are possibly indirectly talking to you about you, kind of thing. It's like something they're saying, but they're speaking it onto you, kind of thing. If you've ever experienced that level of the stalking, and you possibly have. All right, so you just have to cancel these things out. When you hear something that you don't want to hear, and you know they're saying it for you to hear, because you're the total opposite of that. You're a peaceful person. You speak life. You don't speak death. All right, you don't wish death on anybody. You would possibly even tell them, hey, don't speak like that. Life and death is in the tongue. And they wouldn't even want to hear it. They'd probably either curse you out or tell you to shut up, or start making fun of you, or just like take the conversation. Like, the conversation would end up turning into an argument, basically. So it's something that you wouldn't even want to engage in, because it would be a waste of time, like that kind of stuff. So it's because they see the truth, and not only are you a person that would tell the truth, but you are the truth. You are of the truth. You have the spirit in you that irritates their demons. All right, I don't really like saying that, even though it's the truth. Like, a lot of people say that, it's like kind of cliche now. So it's like, I try to find other things to say, but it's like, it's no beating around the bush. That's really what it is, because they have the spirit of evil on them, and they engage in certain activities that just let you know. And it's like, it's certain things that shouldn't happen. It's like, you move from one state, you go to another state, and the same thing is happening. It's different people behaving in the same behavior, and a lot of it is because they are inhabited by certain spirits, but it's a certain mindset that is floating around that they all have as evil individuals, just like a lot of good righteous people have a certain mindset. Like if you saw someone uh about to get hurt by someone, it was like an elderly person, you would save someone. You could see that in one state, you probably see that in another state, you probably see that in this country, you probably see it in your country, you probably see it in another country, just because that spirit is in you to want to do what's right. All right, so there are a lot of forces that want to try to stop you from being a person who believes in what's right, sees what's right, will do what's right. They want you to think and believe that there's no more right, and they want you to give up on what's doing right and just turn into what they are. They want you to, not only that, but they also want you to possibly even give up on living and things like that. And I know it sounds rough, and I know you're stronger than that, but that's the main goal. That's what their objective is. They want you to end your life. And I'm just being real about that. So you have to be strong. You have to pray. No matter what type of mental condition they try to put you in, know that you could overpower it and have a positive outcome over that. All right, they're trying to control you in a way to where you hate your life. And and there's a saying that says, if you hate your life, you might take your life. And I know nobody is on my channel will do that. I pray that they don't do that, but that's why I make these kind of videos, because I know how these kinds of attacks will affect you when you're just trying to go throughout your day-to-day process, and you have random strangers, random people having problems with you, acting towards you like you did them some kind of wrong or something, acting towards you like you done took their girlfriend, or ladies, you done took their man or something, and it's like they're acting like you stole something from them. But see, this is the thing, that these types of people, they act like they own you. All right, the narcissism is connected with demonic activity. All right, we call these things narcissism, and we say they're narcissistic and things like that. That's just on the surface level before you dig into the real spiritual aspect of things. They are evil, all right, and they are narcissistic, but that's why they're narcissistic. It's just traits of them having demons in them and allowing the demons to operate through them and move through them. And this is just the best way, I guess, psychology can coin a phrase, or term a condition or a phrase for it. But it is very narcissistic because of the characteristics and the traits that they display towards certain individuals, certain empaths. All right, and when you have empathy, you're unable to act like this. You're unable to be evil, because before you could be extremely evil to someone, the spirit of God in you would put yourself in that person's shoes. All right, the spirit of good in you would put yourself in that person's shoes and say, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I'm not going to do that to that person. And they're working through the serpent part of their brain. It's like these people didn't even it's like a animal or whatever that's still operating in a stage to where it didn't evolve. That's what these kind of beings that inhabit them and activate the certain part of their brain. All right, because in a certain time, there was there was less empathy. Like it had to, like, that's what, them scientists and all that, Darwin, this and that. And I know a lot of some of that is some crap, but some of it has some truth to it. All right, I just mentioned that name, Darwin, so that way you can get the idea of what I'm talking about. I don't really stand or believe in nothing that man had to say, but because he has some issues, but that's a whole nother video. All right, not to disrespect anyone or take it there, but some of the stuff he said was just crazy. But anyway, um, and I don't mean crazy because I don't agree with it. I just mean it's like nobody in their righteous mind would agree with that. Um, but anyway, talking about a lot in this video. Last few things I wanna touch on real quick. They don't have empathy in them. The thing that I just mentioned, like the reptile part of their brain that is activated, that's like the part of the human brain to where when people were in caves and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. So they have like a reptile mentality. All right, some people have even seen their like eyes turn into like the little reptile eyes and things like that. So you know and there are good ones. Are I believe like these are I believe that this is what people are talking about when they talk about the draconians. There are good ones and there are bad ones. All right, there are good ones though, but there are bad ones. All right, so I mean, it's not a lot of good ones, just like it's not a lot of, I'm not going to say that, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to say it's not a lot of good. I'm just going to say good is spread out. All right. Because I'm not sure of that yet. All right. But I know many are called and few are chosen. But I'll say good is spread out. All right. Until the Most High shows me more, or the Creator uh, shows me more, or points me in certain directions to where I can figure out otherwise. But it's certain, they can't, like, people who are narcissistic, they have demons on them, and there's no empathy in them. They're not going to have empathy for you or your situation, and that's why when you're dealing with them, that's why it seems so evil and so sadistic. All right, it is sadism. All right, it's nothing but sadism, and they operate in a sadistic manner. All right, they don't care about others. They don't have empathy. They cannot put themselves in other people's shoes. They have a fake empathy. All right, and that's why they will act towards you with a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of mental complex. It's like they're good one minute and then evil the next. They can't help that. They're not really good one minute and then evil the next. They're evil, and they're just trying to be good enough to keep you around to continue to be evil towards you. And that's really honestly what it is. All right. So I mean, I think we touched on enough in this video. A few more things before we go. They're going to act like they don't know what you're talking about. All right. And unfortunately, people who act like they don't know what you're talking about will be the main ones doing it. There's been times where I've experienced this type of behavior at work. People call it work mobbing. All right, it's just nothing but gang stalking at your job. All right, gang stalkers with a paycheck. All right, gang stalkers getting an extra pay cut. I mean, an extra payment. All right, that's what it is. And they just let you stay around until it's not fun for them anymore, until you figure out the game and you start making it a problem. You start complaining about it. When you don't complain about it, they'll let you work there as long as you want. They'll let you stay there, keep the same schedule, keep the same shift. But once you start to stand up for yourself, once you start to not complain, but once you start to stand up for yourself and tell and finally see and are able to pinpoint and explain to them what you're experiencing and what's going on, they don't like that. All right, they don't like people who are truth tellers. All right, they don't like someone who will stand up for themselves and who will tell the truth. They want somebody to sit back, take what they're given, take the hand that they're dealt, and keep dealing with the negative experiences that they're being affected by, because they are feeding off of it. And on top of that, not only that, it's just these jobs suck. All right, and everybody, as far as what I've experienced, everybody at the job is experiencing that kind of low vibration of having to be there and clock in. And unfortunately, they will try to make you their muse in a negative way and affect you and try to make your life a living, piece of crap. So that way they could feel better about themselves on the job. At least that's what I thought originally. But I mean, the spirits on them are causing them to act that way. And the spirits feed off of your energy when you stress, when you complain, when you get upset, when you get frustrated, when you get mad. And also, not only that, when you want to take revenge out on them, when you're resentful of them. That's why you're so drained, because these entities that are possessing them are feeding off of that, even just by you being mad over something that somebody did. And that's where you have to reach a true level of enlightenment, to where you let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus, and you reach a level of Christ consciousness. All right, you have to allow yourself to keep growing, and you have to see yourself like you're a monk, or you have to see, I mean, this is why I say that I am Jesus, and people may think it's like vanity, or people may think it's insanity, but you're supposed to reach a level to where nothing is supposed to bother you. Christ came here to show you how to deal with these kinds of people. The same thing was going on when he was here. Who do you think put him up on the cross? All right, so you're supposed to be operating in a Christ-like manner. All right, I'm not telling you to walk around saying you are the one or whatever, but you are a one. All right, you may not be the one, but you are a one, and you are small the one in your life, and possibly in the life of others, depending on what God allows you to do, and how how he influences you in your life, and how he wants you to influence others by what he shows you, what he shows your mind, what kind of gifts you get, what he puts you here to do, kind of thing. All right. So I know there are people who understand what I'm talking about. And for the ones that don't, God bless you. And I pray that you get some understanding. All right. There's nothing evil going on over here on this channel. So, somebody flipped out the other day because I put in the, I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not even going to give that life, but it is what it is. Like certain words, just because someone says a certain word and that's how they describe something, it doesn't mean that's what they're into. And that's all I'm going to say, because I'm not giving that any life, because that person's just being foolish and silly. All right, they probably know who they are by that, but it is what it is. Because I mean, I honestly don't care. They didn't do me any harm by saying that, because I mean, and that's the thing. Like you have to know who you are, and you have to know that when certain people are coming after you, they're possessed by certain spirits. And when you tell yourself that and you acknowledge that and accept that, you'll be less likely to react like, okay, these are these spirits just trying to f with me, or these are these spirits just trying to get underneath my skin, or it's just the evil in them. They're possessed by something, and they're actually trying to, they're hungry, they're trying to feed. And that's really what it is. You're not going to provide them with a meal. All right, you're not going to provide them with a meal card. You're not going to be their full course meal. You're not going to let them devour you. And what does the devil come to do? Still kill, destroy, and devour his enemies. All right, so I think that's it for this video. All right. I appreciate everybody who watched this video to the very end. All right. If you'd like to support my channel, I have these wristbands. All right. I'm selling them. So if you'd like to contact me, you could go in the description. You can go in my description box. You can contact me by email. I'll mail one of them out to you. And if you'd like to book a session with me, you can reach me on that same email, and we could set up a time and date. All right. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. It's been another DruTube special. Shout out to the chosen vessels. Peace, love, and light. Shout out to the galactic family, the GCVs. I'll see you in the next one. We out.